As members of the reliability and maintenance community, you're spending long hours fighting in a culture of cutting costs, maintenance delays, conflict between production and maintenance, a lot of unplanned work results in long hours, weekends, holidays, vacations interrupted. Hey folks, I've been there, I've seen it. This impacts your family, impacts the community, impacts the viability of your plant. That conflict is not healthy for your plant achieving its best self. You know, you look for best practices, you look at the best companies, what are they doing, and you can't figure out how to get to that culture change. Hey folks, my work on this channel is to provide you with a new solution, a solution that I've developed, I've used as a plant manager, as a department leader, and actually executed. This is not something in a book. These are not best practices that look good in the classroom or look good in a seminar. These are things that I have done and worked as part of a team to make significant change at a plant and actually develop a culture of reliability, which is planned work, consistent work, allows people to thrive and grow and innovate in their job versus react and complain and feel down and beaten on. Hey folks, this works, okay? But I need some help from you. I've got a little over 1,100 subscribers, but I need 3 things from you. So, and 2 of these are extremely easy, okay? And the third one's not hard at all. Number 1, hit the like button. Number 2, hit subscribe. These help the YouTube algorithm spread this word automatically and suggest the video to other people. We need to help spread the word, and I can't do this by myself. I need your help. That's your price for me putting out these free videos. That's your cover charge, okay? The third thing, and it's again a button to hit the share button, and then go to your texting and send this to 3 friends. Send a video, maybe this video, to 3 friends and say, what do you think of this guy? Okay? That's all I need you to do. I'm trying to spread this word. You can be a part of this community, helping others make a difference in their personal lives, in their family lives, and in their communities by this different way of developing a reliability culture. It works, folks. Please help me out. Okay, this week, I happen to be a guest speaker at the University of Evansville. Local university happens to be where I got my mechanical engineering degree. And I'm on the Schrader School of Business advisory to the Dean Board. And the topic was, or the class is titled, Operations Management, Logistics, and Supply Chain, an Introduction. So just basic introduction for sophomores. The thread that I see going through all these was lean, okay? So that's where I focused. And I thought this community could benefit to what is lean, you know, name my company's Lean-Driven Reliability. What do I see as lean and the key aspects of it? How does it apply to your plant to make a difference? So hopefully you will like this. This is Joe Kuhn of Lean-Driven Reliability. Okay, I'm going to go through 7 questions that I answered for these folks, and then that led into Q&A. We're not going to do the Q&A though. So, what is lean? Lean is the passionate pursuit of the perfect process. What is that? 4 P's. Pursuit of the perfect process. In other words, 0 waste. How do you constantly have a passion for going after 0 waste, which is exactly what reliability best practices do. Every single one of them target waste, okay? Challenge me on that. If you think it's not about eliminating waste, it's all reliability maintenance best practices. Folks, we need to begin with KPIs. You begin with your experience. You begin with best practices, okay? But you can only know, this is critical that you understand this, you can only know the current state of the waste at your plant through chalk circle observation. And chalk circle observation is at least 4 hours, best to be 8 or multiple day observation of current state. That is key chalk circle observation that originated, that term by Tiochi Ono of the Toyota Production System fame. So here's an example. okay, of waste, okay? Your step count for today. A lot of people keep track of their steps. They're trying to get 10,000 steps for health, okay? So if we observed your steps that you made today, and and I'm watching them, there will be ways to make that number lower. Okay, say you've stepped through 11,000 steps today, which is great for your health, but in a factory environment, you want the least amount of waste, the least amount of steps to be taken, okay? So we can look at that and map out an efficient path, rearrange the workstation to minimize those steps, minimize, the where you may have to go get parts or pieces, so stage them at the work site, right? So stage parts and pieces at the work site, arrange the work so you take the least amount of steps to your day, taking waste out of the organization. So that's a simple example. So at a manufacturing plant, I mean, this is what operations management people do, is they look to make things more efficient, so take out waste. Waste in a manufacturing place increases the labor, it increases the working capital, the inventory that you have, handling damage that you may have, obsolescence of material, increases injury, increases quality concerns. Folks, waste is the one word when you think about what's a plant manager focused on. It's waste, environmental waste, safety waste, waste in the efficiency of making the product. That sums up quite a bit of it, okay? Now you got a people side of the business, don't want to ignore that, but waste is big deal as an operations leader. So how can companies improve results and cut costs by focusing on waste and lean strategies? First of all, folks, I would love for people to stop using the word cost cutting. Cost cutting to me is a bad word, because cost cutting, all it does is reduce your expenses with increasing your risk, okay? Here's an example I gave to the students, okay? Say you had to cut your book fees by 50%. You're at the university, you're out of money, let's cut your book fees by 50%. Option one is you could just buy books for 2 of your classes and don't buy them for another 2 of your classes. And guess what happens? Your grades are going to suffer in the classes that you did not buy the book for. Okay, let's take a lean approach. You may go to some classmates and say, hey, there's 24 hours in a day, and you're not using your book for 24 hours, okay? You like to study at nighttime, I like to study, or I'm willing to study in the morning. So how about I buy 50% of the books, you buy 50% of the books, we have all the books, I'll study in the morning, you study in the evening, okay? And we get by on half the number of books, my book fee goes down 50%. That is lean, reducing the waste. Your book was only being used 4 hours out of 24, but I owned the book the whole time in option one. Option two was being used 8 hours out of 24 for half the cost. That's looking at waste, okay? So that's very simple example for college students. A manufacturing example. Hey, wrench time. Wrench time is the productive time that mechanics or electricians or building tradespeople are doing productive work. They're turning a wrench, okay? Physically turning a wrench. They're not getting instruction. They're not traveling. They're not looking for parts, that kind of thing. Typical for me is I see under 15% wrench time. And people challenge that, but if you see higher than that, let me know. I'd love to see it. 30% is good. I've gotten plants to that level, and 50% is outstanding. So say you're at 15% wrench time, and it takes 20 mechanics to keep things in a maintainable state. Okay, what if 5 are going to retire at the end of the year? 5 are going to retire. So that's just to say that's a $500,000 expense, $100,000 a person. Okay, if you're at 15% wrench time, the most effective thing for you to do with all that waste is try to figure out how to get to 30% wrench time. Because if you can get to 30% wrench time, you could double the effectiveness of your crew. So you can make 20 people act like 40. So whenever you go down 5 people from 20 down to 15, if you can double your wrench time, you can have that 15 have the effect of 30, okay? So you don't need to hire anybody. Save $500,000 this year, every year, Okay, so that's one option that you can do. You can reduce overtime. You can reduce contractor spend. Uh, you'll probably, because you have increased wrench time, you'll have excess people. You can start do things like predictive maintenance. You can start doing a higher percentage of your PMs, maybe go from 90 to 100% of your PM compliance. A lot of great things can happen with efficiency. You know, I had plants routinely see get gains to the business of over $1 million in the first year. Easily 10% of their R&M spend could be offset in the very first year. It's rare that somebody was less than that. Actually, I can't think of an example where somebody was less than 10% in year one. Okay, so can chalk circle observation be implemented in other avenues other than production management? Remember, this class was an introduction. There were people in business there. So absolutely, lean and chalk circle can be applied everywhere. Think about banks. Think about when I first got my mortgage, I'd fill out an application. This was 30 years ago, 35. Filled out an application, and 3 weeks later, the bank tells me whether I'm approved or not and what my rate's going to be. 3 weeks later. Now you can get on Rocket Mortgage on your phone and you can be approved in 5 minutes. You know, that's by eliminating waste, somebody studying it and actually turned it into a business, rapid turnaround of loans. Hey, Chick-fil-A is in the United States is a restaurant chain that serves chicken, great chicken, and they have just mastered the drive-through service. Amazon. What does Amazon do? They are a lean organization. They figure out how to match a product with you and get it there at the lowest possible cost to make it profitable. That's their business, is eliminating waste. That is the business of Amazon. Starbucks, the coffee maker. You could order on your phone, your cup of coffee and have it already paid for. You go to the store, pick it up, and you don't even wait in line. What have they done? They've eliminated the waste of people paying. You standing in line, somebody saying what they want, them getting the order, then paying with their credit card, and all kinds of issues going on. Cut out all that waste. It is a competitive advantage to attach lean to your business, okay, folks? And chalk circle observation is fundamental to understanding where the waste is and what action to take next. Observation leads to simple actions presenting themselves. Simple actions. Okay. That says, why is planning important for lean systems? Hey, folks, planning is the huddle. Just like a football team, they huddle before a play to say whether we're going to pass, we're going to run the ball, we're going to punt, whatever they're going to do. It's to align everyone on what we're going to do. And this is critical for people, especially in planning roles, when they have to buy equipment, they have to buy parts, they may have to buy incoming materials to make sure that we can make the part 2 weeks from now, 3 weeks from now. So planning is so critical to a lean culture, to have all players, everybody's role is critical. Like for a maintenance outage, we got to have the parts, right? We got to have the break in the production window to do it. We got to have the safety instructions in place. So many things that need to work out. Okay. I'm going to skip this next question for time. What is the value of learning about lean if I'm in a different major like biology or finance? Well, every job consists of processes. Everything at your plant, wherever you're at. Finance, loan paperwork, already talked about that. Biology, hey, we're doing a lot of COVID testing right now, and so how long does it take to, how can we take the waste out of taking the sample to test me for COVID, to turn that around and get that back to the individual? Right now, today, we're also working on distribution of the vaccine. How do we get 1 million people a day? What does that line look like? How do we cut out the waste? How do we get their proper information, proper documentation, get the shot, get the people out of there? Lean, 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 right, folks? Medical field. Hey, it's a big deal. I've got friends that work in the medical industry that used to be in manufacturing, working on how to turn over operating rooms. So if you can get 5 surgeries in an operating room a day, say that's your average, what would it take to get that to 10? What waste is in the system that we can get that to 10, so you got the same operating room, you make twice as much money, twice as many people healed, right? So operating room, big deal. Astrophysics, I just finished a book on this. They have to schedule time on a telescope, okay? They get 2 hours on the Hubble Space Telescope. They don't just say, okay, 2 hours starts now, what do we want to do? No, they have it planned out. They remove the waste. How many experiments can they get in that 2 hour time window? It applies to every discipline. Lean can be your business. I mentioned Amazon, Chick-fil-A, McDonald's. That is their business, is lean. You know, as a recent undergraduate, what would you suggest for me is the best thing for me to learn about lean today? What's the best thing? And folks, remember one thing today. Spend 3 times as long in understanding current state as you can possibly stand. So spend enormous amount of time in current state. You have to do chalk circle observation. Typically, technical people, they say, here's the problem, here's the solution. There's like 1 minute in between. I'm telling you, put 2 days in between problem, understanding, and proposed solutions, and your dollars will be spent much wiser. You will be right more often, and you will actually drive change so much faster because you won't be making all the errors. So spend 3 times as long as you think you need to in current state, and that is by applying the one tool of chalk circle observation. That go and see mindset, it's huge. Folks, I think this is a cancer in manufacturing today, is managing by KPIs and opinion. Okay, and electronics are a blessing, but they're also a curse if you rely on them solely. So hey, let me give you a quick example of how KPIs and opinion lie to you. Okay, on average, in a simple example, okay, on average week, it takes 30 minutes. I got a car washing business. It takes 30 minutes to wash a car. Okay, so last month we averaged 23 minutes for all the cars that went through. Okay. Well, is that a good or bad? Remember, the historical average is 30. This was 23. So this last month was a good month, right? Well, let's take a look at some of the individual data. Well, we had some 17 minutes. We had some 10 minutes. We had some 18s. We had 19s. We had some 55s, 60s, and 70s minutes to wash cars. So what's going on here? Well, when you dive in, you know, the 10-minute ones, 12-minute ones, they weren't really washing, didn't do a good quality job, but a good quality job with old Joe washing the car, he was able to do these in 17, 18 minutes. And, you know, during the 55, and 60, they encountered problems. There was discussions taking place, didn't have the right, you know, equipment was breaking down, whatever. But the fact is that we thought it was a good month, but there were actually good data points in there highlighting waste. The 55s were waste, the 60s were waste that we can go after and eliminate. And then also we had quality issues down at the 10, 15 minute mark. So does that make sense? The KPI hid the waste, and chalk circle observation, it was evident, okay? It was evident. So waste is hidden by averaging. That's one of the biggest sins of KPIs is they average, okay? Individuals where the waste is. Hey folks, begin your journey. This was an introduction to lean. If I can help you out in any way, let me know. I respond to 100% of the comments. It's just Joe out.